Hey guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm just jumping in with a really quick video talking about my new set of charms. My girl Liz over at Charmed Intuition, many of you guys know her. For me, she is like the queen of charms, like hence the name of her channel, Charmed Intuition. Or Charmed Intuition Tarot. So she does incorporate oracle cards, tarot cards, along with her charms, and she has charms of, you know, various sizes, and they're like little metal charms, and she has die. She also has, you know, little knickknacks and you know, pins and stuff like that. And she inspired me to want to get to use like things that I already have for charm casting as well. As many of you know, I am a conchomancer, so I read seashells, and I have basically since I was a little kid. Like, you know, I have always just been able to divine with what was around me, because when you're a little kid, it's not like, I mean, there might be the exception here or there. It's not like your mom and dad like went out and bought you a tarot deck, you know? Like, that just didn't really happen for me, so I just kind of had to use what was around me, and I didn't really know that what I was doing was called divining or anything. You know, I would read with rocks, you know, because I collected rocks. I would gain messages from seashells when we would go to the beach, and I would collect all these shells. And the same thing, you know, at least for me, it's the same with charms. You know, if you're wanting to get into charm reading or reading of seashells or reading of crystals, or, you know, whatever it is, it really comes down to you assigning meaning to those things. So you're really not going to find on the internet or anywhere where it says, if you're going to do charm casting, you need to have these charms, and you need to have this many charms, and these are going to be the meanings. I mean, you could definitely use those places for inspiration. You can look at people's channels for inspiration, but I think that it means more when you come up with a system that's personal. It's you. So for me, yes, I would love to play with Liz's charms. You know, she has these fantastic looking charms, but they're not me. You know, I wouldn't have the same meanings that she would, because it's coming from her personal experience, her upbringing, her point of view, and how she feels about each of those charms. Some of those charms are very personal, like they came from family members, and so they have a very specific meaning. For me, you know, I'm kind of a big kid. I am a big kid. I mean, like, let's just talk about it there. But you know, so I have always like loved little things like this, like little doodads, little crafty things. And I kind of had stuff like this. Like, I always had, like, I had a little, I called it my toy box, but I had like all sorts of toys, but I also had like doodads and knickknacks just like this kind of in my toy box. And they all meant something to me, and I would create these like fantastical worlds. And so when I look at each of these items, you know, they kind of just look silly and things like that, but they mean something to me. And so I think that, you know, if you are wanting to maybe start using seashells, or you want to start using crystals, or you want to, you know, go out and go buy some craft supplies, and, you know, and you want to use those, or maybe you want to use old pins that you find at the thrift store. You know, do something that matches your personality. I mean, you look at this stuff, you look at all the colors, like that just screams me, because it is me. Like all of these colors, like unicorns, like that's me. That's 100% me. And so I totally like connect to what's in here. So if I'm going to be doing a reading on my channel or a reading for somebody, I easily connect with these because it's just my personality. It's kind of like how I view the world, you know. So I got these little charms various places on Amazon, but also some of them were things that I already owned, and I kind of just put them all together. I got these little pieces here from, they're like supposed to be on Crocs shoes, and I don't own Crocs, but I was like, hey, like I like these little doodads. Like these are kind of cool. And these are supposed to be glow in the dark, which I'm like, sweet. And then there's little crafty charms too. These are just acrylic flat back charms that you can also get on Amazon. I had a die lying around the house, so I tossed that in. I also had these are like story blocks that they sell like in the kids section. I got this up in Julian though. There's like a bunch of these. They're kind of floating around in here. But I would use them with my tarot and oracle cards, and I was like, well, I could use them like with this. So I would like to see, like, what do you guys come up with, or what do you already have that you use for divination? You know, either for, you know, psychology, you know, self-help, or maybe you are, you know, using it as a tool to help you see possible futures, you know, and steps that you can take towards your desired outcomes. But what do you guys use other than cards? You know, like I said, for me, it kind of started with rocks, just like literally rocks around my grandparents' property, around my property, you know, my little ghetto property, and seashells that I collected at the beach. Just like doodads laying around my room, you know, pieces of toys, broken toys, stuff like that. There was a deck of playing cards, just regular bicycle playing cards, in my parents' garage, and that's also what I used for divination. I had a deck of Old Maid cards, if you guys remember playing Old Maid, and I used that for divination. So you can use anything. So don't feel like, you know, especially if you're a younger person, like you specifically have to go out and go buy an already made charm set, or you have to go out and go buy somebody's tarot deck or oracle deck. Like, you use what's around you. And I think when you do that, you gain a deeper connection. You start to see the world, you know, through your eyes. You see divination through your eyes. You start to see things differently, but it's through your perspective. And I think you can really help yourself with that. And then later on, you know, if you have the means, you want to go out and buy somebody's tarot deck, like you totally can now, you know, or their, you know, charms, because now you have a base with which to start from. So anyway, you know, I just kind of wanted to pop in and, you know, talk about that, because a lot of people have sent me messages like, you know, how do you have such like a good connection with your cards or your seashells? And, you know, I've only, I think, done one video where I've used these now, but, you know, I want to incorporate them more. But people are just like, you know, how do you do that? Like, what website can I go to, or what book can I read that will tell me what the charms mean, or that, you know, how what the seashells mean, or how many seashells you should use, or how many charms you should use, or how many stones you should use. And it really, you know, my advice is, you know, that it's totally up to you. If you just want to read with like 4 seashells, or if you want to read with like 20 seashells, like that's totally up to you. If you want to use charms that you bought at a store, or you want to use some that you found in your grandmother's attic, like, you know, you do what you think would give you the best connection as it connects to your personality, and to your background, you know, because obviously if I don't know what some of these are, you know, it would be hard, you know, like if I didn't know Tom and Jerry, you know, I mean, I could probably give this a meaning, but it has a different meaning because I do know this cartoon, you know, so, you know, stuff like that. It's kind of sometimes cultural, you know, and it's good to put in a little bit of your culture and a little bit of your background, and just like where you came from. We're all different people. We, you know, even people that grew up under the same roof, like, you know, let's take my brother and I, for instance. We both see the world totally differently. We have the same parents. We grew up under the same roof. You know, we're 6 years apart, but, you know, he just sees the world differently than I do. He would attribute different meanings to things than, you know, I would, just because he's got a different perspective. So, and I think that's great though. I think that, you know, the more diversity in perspectives we can have in our readers, the better. I mean, you don't want like millions of readers out there that all just read exactly the same, because then, like, what's the point, right? People go to readers because they have a connection with the way they connect. You know, if I want to get a reading, I don't connect with every reader out there, but I know that there's a lot of readers that I do connect with, and, you know, and then their messages would definitely impact me in a different way, you know, so just stuff to keep in mind. Oh, I also wanted to show you, you know, I put this in this cool bowl that I just got from Target. I think this was like $2. So, hey, you also don't have to spend a lot of money. And if you're just working with Mama Nature, you can just take those rocks from your front yard and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. Like I said, a lot of people just been emailing me lately with these kinds of questions, and I thought I would just make a quick video kind of answering it through my point of view. All right, so anyway, that's it from me, spiritual homies. If you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding, ding, ding notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittenswaitsandtarot.com. I got a lot of different readings, even said contramancy readings. I have my room and body sprays, I have my salves, I have my travel altar pendants, I have my rainbow bridge pendants, I have my Wally's World Oracle. Wally's actually right behind me right now. I have, yeah, lots of goodies. Definitely check it out. I have a newsletter, which I send out at the first of every month, and that is the only time I hit your inbox, but it's got like witchy DIYs, arts and crafts DIYs, channels that I'm watching, decks that I'm using, rocks that I'm using, stuff like that. So if that interests you, go ahead, sign up. That is free. And if you want to throw a little love my way, think of joining the KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittenswaitsandtarot for as little as $1. It really does help out the channel and helps what I do so that I can help more homies out there. Anyway, that's it from me, you spiritual homies. I will catch you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.